And this afternoon, Sky Sports comes to Ashton Gate for a derby as passionate and frenetic as any in the game, as Bristol City meet Bristol Rovers. City are really in the mood. They're amongst the highest goal scorers in the second division. And last week, they put 9 past St Albans in the FA Cup. But Rovers won't be overawed by any means. On their day, they're a match for anyone. They know form counts for very little in a derby game. Football League Live is in Bristol this Sunday lunchtime as City meet Rovers with local pride as well as 3 points at stake. Yes, hello. Nice to have you with us on Football League Live as we've seen some great derby occasions already here on Sky Sports this season. And this afternoon promises to be just as good, we hope. And I'm delighted to welcome the former Bristol City boss Russell Osman, now of course in charge at Cardiff City, and John Ward, assistant manager at Burnley, but until recently was in charge at Bristol Rovers. And John, for the uninitiated, how fierce is the rivalry between not only the players and the clubs but the fans for this game? It's
immense. I think you've seen the other games there which are areas in the country. This is a city, and this is a city divided by red or blue. And on a day like today, you know, these people would have been waiting for this for a long, long time. And both managers will have had supporters saying, doesn't matter what you do as long as you beat City or as long as you beat Rovers. And that will have been playing on for quite some time. There's a massive build-up to this game, and it's a big event for everybody in Bristol.
Russell, what about Ashton Gate as a venue? Is it good ground, improving?
Magnificent now. It's a terrific stadium. They've had a new surface put down on the pitch. It's a perfect pitch now. They've got a terrific setup there. They've brought the seats down in front of the old Dacio stand there. The Dolman stand, sorry. So it looks magnificent, it is magnificent, and we should have a great game today.
Sure, you're right. That's what they got. And let's have a look at the bottom half of the second division. Blackpool in a little bit of trouble now. Gary Megson got a lot of hard work there. They're in 19th place, propping the whole league up, Rotherham. And the top half of the second division looks like this. There's Bristol City, who we see this afternoon. Bristol Rovers in the bottom half of the table. Brentford and Millwall and Luton in first, second and third positions. But we're at Ashton Gate this afternoon for the big Bristol derby. It's City against Rovers. And let's hear from the Bristol City manager now, Joe Jordan.
Joe, happy birthday, 45 today. Is this the kind of game you'd like to have played in yourself?
Yeah, I think derby games have got something special, no matter what part of the country are. We've got a full house here today, and I think people will see that even in the West Country there's a lot of passion in their football, and either in the players or on the terraces, I think they'll demonstrate how much they feel for their football.
You've played in Manchester derbies, Milan derbies. Without comparing it to those kind of games, will the people be just as intense here about today's game?
I would think more so, because of the fact that I think at Milan and Manchester there's a lot of other big games. No disrespect to the other teams in the league, but I think when you have a derby game as we have, I think it means more than any other game that the fixture list throws up, other than maybe big FA Cup ties. But today it's a big game for the City, and hopefully we can do it justice.
How valuable are the points? Because you can go 1 point behind the playoff places today, can't you?
Yeah, I think the results they went for us yesterday. We've got a couple of games in hand, but they can only count if you can put them into points, and it is a big game for both teams today.
Wish you all the best, Joe.
Thanks very much.
Yes, happy birthday, Joe Jordan, current incumbent of the Bristol City manager's job, and he's played a few derbies all over the world in his time, and so have you, Russell, haven't you, with the East Anglian derbies. As a manager, Joe Jordan, how do you think he's doing? It's a big job at Bristol City, isn't it?
It is a big job, but Joe's managed to get himself a good, strong squad of players there. They've had 1 or 2 hiccups along the way, but I'm sure now he's got them playing how he wants them to play. And I think today, if he can turn this into 3 points, then they'll just go on and hopefully get up there and get promotion this year.
Well, as we've said, form can often fly out of the window in a derby game, can't it? But maybe some pointers for both teams from this week's form guide, starting off with Bristol City. City's first win of the season was a bit special, a 5-0 thrashing of Luton at Ashton Gate. Despite a heavy defeat at Bury in the next game, Kevin Nugent was on target twice as Preston were beaten 2-1. Walsall were the next victims at Ashton Gate, Gregory Goodridge rounding off a fine 4-1 win. The first away victory of the season duly arrived at Burnley, Sean Goater scoring twice in a 3-2 victory. Despite a home defeat by Brentford, it was back to winning ways against struggling Wickham. 3-0 the final score. City went one better in the next home match against Notts County, with Sean Gota grabbing a hat-trick. Then Bournemouth were beaten as City went 5th. Two successive draws followed, including a point at Stockport. Clayton Blackmore on target. Then Peterborough were the latest team to come away from Ashton Gate empty-handed. After a defeat at Notts County, Watford nicked a point in a 1-1 draw. Darren Barnard scoring City's goal from the penalty spot. And here's our Football League Live gameometer for Bristol City, our hosts for this afternoon, tracking their season so far. They're currently 11th. Let's have a little look at their league record. They've scored 36 goals. Sean Gota, top scorer with 10. There's their home form over their last 6 home games. Pretty impressive. Just confirmation for you of their current league position. They're 11th. There's their form over their last 6 games, on which we base their form guide position, which is 8th. Rovers were really quick off the mark. An opening day 1-0 win over Barry, Fry and Peterborough in August. Just 2 points came from the next 3 matches before Bournemouth was seen off 3-2. A couple of narrow defeats followed, then Plymouth were beaten 1-0 at Home Park thanks to a late Lee Archer effort. Jamie Curitan got on the score sheet for the first time in the next match, scoring twice in a 2-0 win over Chesterfield. Same story in the next home game at Crewe, another 2-0 win as Rovers went 6th. But just 3 points came from the next 4 matches, including a 2-1 defeat at Bury, despite a Paul Miller strike. A win against Brentford made up some lost ground at the end of October, the decider coming in very controversial circumstances. 2-1, the final score. After a home draw against Gillingham, 3 successive league defeats followed, including a disastrous last-minute penalty giveaway at Luton. Rovers going down 2-1. But a brilliant hat-trick from top scorer Peter Beadle inside 10 minutes saw off Bury 4-3. Last week, Walsall nicked a 1-goal win as Rovers stayed in mid-table. And here's our Football League Live gameometer for Bristol Rovers. They're currently 15th. Have a quick look at their league record. They've scored 22 goals. Peter Beadle, top scorer with 7. Jamie Curitan's got 5 of them. There's their away form over their last 6 away games. Not very good at all. Confirmation for you of their current league position. They're 15th. And there's their form over their last 6 games overall. They've lost 5 of them. Their form guide position is 23rd. And the head-to-head between Bristol City and Bristol Rovers overall. They've played 80 times. Bristol City have won 30. Bristol Rovers have won 23. And there's been 27 draws. And this is how they've shaped up at Ashton Gate over the years. They've played 40 times. Bristol City have won 19. Bristol Rovers have only won 8. And there's been 13 draws. And the bookmakers, this is what they're saying about this afternoon's match. Bristol City 11-10 on. That'll please Joe Royal. Bristol Rovers 5-2, and the draw is 11-5, of course. Now, John, not that I want to bring back some nasty memories for you, but when you played Bristol City, you lost 3-2, and Sean Gota got 2 of those goals, didn't he? You've seen him firsthand, close up. What do you make of him?
I think it's been a really good signing for Joe. I think he's got good competition at the front of the side. He's got David Seal in there, he's got Agostino, and he's got Gota in there. People who can score goals, and Gota's responded to the move. and he looks really accomplished. As you see the goal there, he's taking it down his chest, second one, flicked it in, got in off the post, but that's against us, and we've defended not bad this season. But he got a bit of room, and I think he's a good footballer and got a good eye for goal.
He's certainly really sharp, isn't he, Russell?
Yeah, he is. He's a good finisher, you know, he can finish with his feet, finishes with his head quite well. And if he gets good supply from the flanks today and good service, then, I mean, this goal here, he's taken one touch on his hip, one touch on his knee, and then stuck it straight in through the keeper. He's in form at the moment.
It's Sean Goater, one of the jewels in Joe Jordan's crown at Bristol City at the moment. He's got a good front line as well. We'll be back at Ashton Gate shortly, but let's start these two. Since the 23rd of September 1989, when it was 0-0 at Ashton Gate, Bristol City amongst the leading scorers in Division 2 this season, 36 goals. And the fans really and truly getting ready for this afternoon's match. Bit of love in the air as well, isn't that nice here on Sky Sports 3. Right, let's find out a little bit more now about life at Ashton Gate in ground rules. Life and a little look behind the scenes at Ashton Gate, Bristol City, the home of course, and the Wurzels writing the lyrics for the Bristol City song. And John Ward was just telling me that he'd also seen the Wurzels over at Bristol Rovers. So how can you be at both clubs, huh? It's either one or the other, really, isn't it? But they're getting ready for this game this afternoon. I can tell you, pride, 3 points, and having the mickey taken out of you if you lose by all your mates, it's not what both sets of supporters want, so we're hoping for a really good game this afternoon. And we can hear from some of the Bristol City supporters now what they think about their club. Start off with the good points.
Oh, it's just a great atmosphere, a good club, look after you well. Yeah, what more can you say?
Well, the crowd's really good and there's lots of singing and food's nice.
Atmosphere, the skill of the players and the team.
Oh, the fans and the atmosphere in the ground is better than it was a couple of seasons ago. Absolutely brilliant, and the players are good now as well.
Watching them win, definitely. Lots of goals. I mean, it's a good style of play.
The atmosphere, the people, everyone's friendly, and it's a great family atmosphere.
I like them doing well, which they're not. Well, they're doing that this season. It's pretty good. and I like the fact that we've got a new chairman and he's doing good things for the club, bringing more money in, more supporters, and is hopefully putting the club back on track where it should be.
And is there anything you dislike about the club at all?
I don't like them being in this division. I think we're too big to be in this division. We're a first division team.
I think sometimes we've got a bit of a lack of ambition. I mean, as you can see, it's a huge club, and with a bit more money put into the club, I think we could really go places.
Yeah, travelling, it's about thousands of miles, you know, from Australia to get here. So, like, transport's a bit of a worry, you know, a bit of money involved, but no, it's good to come and see it. It's good stuff.
Wow, he's come from a long way, hasn't he? Australia to see him this afternoon. Russell, ambition and Bristol City, do they go hand in hand? Because there was one or two doubts there from some of the supporters.
They go hand in hand now. I think Scott Davison and John Laycock, the new chairman and owner respectively, they are really pushing the club forward now. You can see the developments in the stadium. They've got a lovely surface to play on now. They've invested well in the players, and now they just need results to keep the momentum going. You know, they've started the ball rolling. They've got to try and get out this division as quickly as they can, and hopefully that'll be this year.
John, Bristol Rovers, back in Bristol now, of course. What do their fans expect? Do they see themselves as big as Bristol City or bigger?
They do today, but I think in general, no, they don't. I call them the beggars, stealers and borrowers. They've literally got nothing. They don't own anything at all. They rent the ground, they rent the training ground, they rent the offices where they work from. And I think the supporters recognise that, and their expectations go accordingly.
Well, they'll be expecting to win this afternoon,
sure
that's
they
for
will,
sure,
yeah,
won't they? Now, we can catch up on the team news now. Our man at Ashton Gate, of course, is George Gavin.
Yeah, it's a massive game, this, and both teams virtually at full strength. A real buzz about Ashton Gate. Bristol City have Rob Edwards and Sean Taylor, two defensive kingpins, both fit again. But Sean Gota only makes the bench. He's top scorer after missing 3 games. Bristol Rovers have their top scorer, Peter Beadle, back in the team, while player manager Ian Holloway returns after suspension and injury. Let's have a look at the Bristol City lineup first of all. In goal there's Stuart Naylor, former West Bromwich Albion player. Played in many Midlands derbies. This is his first Bristol derby. Greg Goodridge, Barbados international from Queen's Park Rangers, 7 goals this season. Clayton Blackmore, many a Manchester derby, second month on loan here from Middlesbrough. Paul Agostino, an Australian with 4 goals last week in the FA Cup against St Albans, 9-2 win. They're having a late night party, we're told, in Australia. His friends and family watching the Sky coverage in Australia. Bristol Rovers, Lee Martin, 28 years old now, FA Cup winning goal for Manchester United against Crystal Palace in 1990. He's on a free from Celtic here. Played in many Manchester and Glasgow derbies, of course, up against his old friend Clayton Blackmore today. Ian Holloway, play manager, back in, 3rd spell here, arrived from Queen's Park Rangers. He's only lost 3 of 12 league derby games in Bristol. And Peter Beadle is the top scorer with 7 goals. On the bench, Jamie Curitan, a Bristol boy, cost £200,000 from Norwich, and with me is the player manager of Bristol Rovers, Ian Holloway. Ian, you know all about these games. How intense is the feeling?
It's quite amazing, really. If it's the first time you've experienced one, it's an atmosphere to behold. I must admit, I'm a Bristolian lad, and they are a bit special.
You're 5-2, long odds to win the game. Have the players been tempted to back themselves today?
I think 1 or 2 of them had a little flutter. Yeah, it's always nice to go in a game like this. Not expected to do anything, and I can assure you my boys will be out there giving them their best.
Will the players who haven't experienced this feeling before, will they be okay for the day?
I hope so, yeah. You know, it's a tremendous atmosphere out there, full house. Can be a bit intimidating with the City fans getting on at you a little bit. I just want them to stand up and be men, and I'm sure they will be.
Is that the best policy? Because your record in these games is very good, isn't it?
I've been very fortunate over the years, yeah. I didn't realise that was my record so far, and all I can remember is having a lot of nice evenings after these games. Obviously, I'd like that to carry on, and I think some of the new faces in my squad are obviously, I've sort of wound them up on the way over here, you know, played a few old tapes that we had and of the games where we've won, and I think they'll get into the spirit of it.
Thanks, Ian. All the very best today.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Bristol Rovers manager Ian Holloway there talking to George Gavin. Quick reaction from you, Russell, about Sean Gota, who we've just been talking about a few minutes ago, and he's on the bench today. Is that an indication of how strong Bristol City are, that they can leave the top scorer on the bench?
We said they've got a strong squad, but, you know, I feel if he's fit enough to go on the bench, yeah, I'd be more inclined to start with him and then see if he lasts an hour, then fine, you've still got 3 subs, you can rotate if he needs to come off later on. I think if you've got him sitting on the bench, he's going to get cold on the bench, and it's hard for him to keep himself warmed up, depending on what his injury problem is. I would have if he's fit enough to go on the bench, I'd have started with him.
OK, more goals now. Hoping for, obviously, some this afternoon. Kick-off not too many minutes away now. We've already had a look at a couple of the players in today's game and talked to John and Russell about it. And here are a few more faces to keep an eye on. Russell, will start with Bristol City. Paul Agostino, the Australian, only 21 years old, but a good player.
Yeah, very exciting player. I think Dave Butler, who'll be working with Terry Venables with the Australian squad, is down there watching them today. Very strong in the air, very fit lad, you know, and he's on a good run of goals at the moment. He's somebody who's not the tallest, but he's one of those players that seems to hang in the air a bit longer than others. Definitely worth watching today.
A couple of former Manchester United players involved in the match this afternoon. Clayton Blackmore is going to be playing for Bristol City. Still going, 32 years old and a Welsh international, John.
Yeah, it's like a new lease of life for him. I think he was in Middlesbrough reserves, not going anywhere, particularly at first team level. And Joe's given him a chance to come out, and it looks as if Clayton's gone and taken it. He's done pretty well. He's been involved very well since he got into the football team there at City. And he's been part of the sort of revival a little bit. And I'm sure he's enjoying himself. So
there's a couple of Bristol City players. Let's have a look at a couple of Bristol Rovers players this afternoon. Peter Beadle, 24 years old, top scorer for the club, Russell.
Yeah, he got a couple of great goals last season in the Derby game. Pivoted round on the edge of the box and crashed one in from about 20 yards. He's a handful, and I think he's got to have his work cut out playing against Sean Taylor today. You know, and if Sean's fully fit, then that's going to be a good contest between the two of them.
Another former United player, John, Lee Martin, playing for Rovers this afternoon.
Yeah, got a new signing by Ian Holloway, and again, he's another one that's had his career revived a little bit by coming down to Bristol. He's been out a little bit injured, he's missed 2 or 3 games, but he's come back in, and he complements a really full strength back four now for them.
So, those are just a few of the faces to watch out for this afternoon. There'll be other stars too. Bristol City against Bristol Rovers. The big Bristol Derby this afternoon. This is the one that matters to both sets of fans. And let's join our Sky Sports commentary team, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
And it's a bit of a nostalgic return to Ashton Gate for you, isn't it, Alan?
Well, it was the first English game, English stadium, I should say, that I played at a long time ago. Celtic Boys Club, Bristol City youth team.
But you won?
I believe we did. Don't hold me to it, but I think we did. But it's lovely to come back here. Lovely stadium.
Fans to whom this means so much. Bristol City haven't actually played since their 9-goal demolition of St Albans. They had a bye in the first round of the Auto Windscreen Shield. And the extra recovery time allows manager Joe Jordan to recall Rob Edwards after hamstring trouble and Sean Taylor, who suffered ligament damage around the collarbone in an FA Cup tie against Swansea. So Scott Patterson and Lewis Carey drop out, as does Martin Cool, as on loan Clayton Blackmore returns. The club's top scorer, Sean Gota, who's had ligament trouble, is on the bench.
Yeah, a little bit surprised, Rob, to be honest, Gota on the bench. But in saying that, I fancy, 4-4-2. I quite like this guy here, Gregory Goodridge. I first spotted him, Colchester Torquay, when he was a Torquay player. Good on the run with the ball, skips past defenders, and he's a good crosser on the run. Rovers are going to have to be careful with Blackmore, strikes a great ball, and obviously Agostino, at the moment, he's the man who's hot for Bristol City.
Holloway plays in his first derby as manager after 4 games out through suspension, illness and injury. Holloway's return is well timed with the former Southampton winger Frankie Bennett out for a fortnight at least with cartilage trouble. And there's a change on the left too, with Matt Lockwood, a free transfer signing from Queen's Park Rangers, taking Lee Archer's place in the starting 11.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers, 4-4-2 again. I just think this is a big game for Holloway, there's no doubt about it. Player coach in a Bristol Derby, I think he's going to have his hands full today. He's going to be shouting instruction, gets to the ball, he's a tough competitor, very fierce, will be trying to win the ball. This man Browning, he's the passer in midfield, he'll be trying to get up the ball, little balls up to his front players, and especially Beadle here. Beadle, top scorer, he's a man City have to watch.
Players know that the talk in these parts has been of nothing else but this game. So within a matter of minutes, the talking stops and the action begins. The visitors coming out of the left-hand dressing room, and the team's being led out by David Orr, the referee. A big occasion in the southwest. There are 1 or 2 players on both sides for whom this is a completely new experience. But they all know that they've been in a pressure cooker atmosphere after a day like this. A match which means so much. City divided by the rivalry of the two clubs. Bristol City against Bristol Rovers. The match coming up in full after the break.
Yes, good afternoon. The venue is Ashton Gate. The occasion, the Bristol Derby in the nationwide second division. And your Sky Sports commentary team is Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, Bristol City's season was really going nowhere until today's captain Gary Hours got them 2 goals in a match at Rotherham earlier in the season. They were 2-0 down in that game, but since they pulled back to force a 2-2 draw, their season has taken a completely different course, and now from a battle against relegation they're looking more towards the top end of the table. As for Bristol Rovers player manager Ian Holloway in his inaugural season in charge, things have gone a little awry of late. Having been up at the top end, they've now lost 6 of their last 7 games in all competitions, and he's finding out a little bit about the downside of his new job. But an atmosphere like this is very much the upside of football. The countdown to this game has been going on for days. I don't think there's another match in these parts that would merit an 8-page supplement pull-out in the local newspaper. But the talk has been dominated by this fixture, and the man who will be the arbitrator is David Orr, a civil engineer from Buckinghamshire. It's Bristol City in red tops and white shorts to get the game underway.
Great atmosphere, Rob. You know, Preston Friday night was marvellous, but this, whoa, this is a red-hot derby. And I must admit, I'm going for the boys in red.
Straight from the kickoff, Gary Hours with an ambitious effort to test Andy Collett in the Bristol Rovers goal. Clear sign that they immediately want to put Rovers under pressure, and there's a bit of a surprise in the way that City are lining up, in that Hours is starting in midfield and Clayton Blackmore appears to be filling in at right back. Here's Agostino. Done well to work his way through the crowd. A little bit of help coming in from Nugent. A nervous occasion for players and also for the referee. Everything has to be just right on a big occasion like this. This is Gregory Goodrich. Curling it in, it's away from Agostino. It's headed away by David Pritchard for the first corner of the match in the first minute of the game.
There's no doubt about it. They've got to stop Goodrich crossing the ball, and there they just stood off him because he can cross. And given time like that, it makes it easier for him.
First corner is taken by Brian Tinian. It's Taylor who came in for the header. Showed from his Swindon days that he was always a danger in the opposing penalty area.
Yeah, good whipping cross. Couldn't get enough on it, really. Good, you know, the Rovers defenders there were competing well, and Taylor couldn't direct it towards goal.
Mentioned earlier how the season turned on that draw at Rotherham, and it's really since Sean Taylor was bought by Joe Jordan from Swindon that their defensive record has improved considerably. He really is a key plank of their defensive outlook. Goodrich looking to whip a quick one forward for Agostino. The noise here is relentless. Every Bristol Rovers player has got the full hostile treatment from the home fans, and Ian Holloway, the player manager in particular, has had some special treatment reserved for him. Here he is.
What a reception.
Here's Hours, and he's pushed it through neatly. Agostino. Hours has continued to power a run forward. Goodrich was an option on the right. Agostino just seemed to hold it up for too long. Clark battling away to win it from him. Full-blooded commitment already shown by both sets of players. Goodrich getting the cross in, and it's Clark in the way. Bonnard.
Well, Agostino there, he just had to get his head up there because Goodrich was crying out for it on the right-hand side. But Agostino felt he could go on his own, try and get the strike in. I felt the better option was wide on the right to Goodrich.
Gregory Goodrich, one of the 4 players in this Bristol City team who haven't been in a Bristol League derby before. Edwards looking towards Agostino, but that one is too long for him. Here's Harris. This is Matt Lockwood. Turned away by ours. Agostino, and the gap has opened up, and it's Gregory Goodridge with a great chance for the first goal. Brilliantly denied by Collett. Well, that was an excellent opportunity, but I think that we see this again. I felt Agostino was offside. I'm pretty certain that the referee's assistant was right there, just there. I think that's offside. The reverse pass, and surely Goodridge has got his score, but he just dilly-dallies, takes too long. And what a smashing save from Collett. Goodridge clean through and goal. He just seemed to slow down for me here, and that gave Collett the chance to smother the ball. On an occasion filled with tension, you're relying on your goalkeeper to be very much on his mettle, and that will boost Andy Collett's confidence so early in the game. Just felt Goodridge relaxed. He just relaxed at the wrong time there, you know, when he just seemed to slow down. I thought for once the defender was going to get a challenge in, but he just gave Collett, the keeper, a chance to get out and smother the angle. Andy Collett seems to have picked up a little bit of an injury in coming out to deny Goodridge. Just been treading a little gingerly since then. Well, he'll be delighted. What a start. And I think Gregory Goodridge will be thinking, crikey, we should have been one up. But Gregory Goodridge is a player well known to Ian Holloway because they were both on Queen's Park Rangers books last season. Very much on opposite sides today. Here's Alice. Looking for Goodridge again. He's certainly getting involved. Lee Martin wasn't prepared to make the same mistake as last time and let him get his cross in. Clayton Blackmore. And Nugent is backing into Billy Clark. Here's Marcus Browning. Pritchard will challenge for this. Matt Hewlett. Bernard going in with Matt Hayfield. It's Rovers who've got the throw. Bristol-born player who's started 4 games prior to this for Rovers. Martin just tidying up.
Yeah, Lee Martin, you're saying there, Rob, ex-Man United, and should Clayton Blackmore get ahead of Gregory Goodridge today? Maybe 2 ex-Man United boys. When they were very young, played, I think they almost played in the same youth team.
City. The thing about Martin and Blackmore, of course, is Martin's most famous moment came when he scored that FA Cup winning goal for Manchester United against Crystal Palace in the 1990 replay. And actually in the first match, the 3-3 draw at Wembley, Blackmore came on to replace him. Here is Blackmore. Agostino just trying to touch it on for Nugent. Andy Collett was exposed early on to the dangers of Goodridge, but Rovers have held their line more tightly since.
I say, I didn't quite agree with that decision. But the referee's assistant was right in line, and correct he was. Goodridge, the man offside. But Blackmore, one of the qualities of Clayton Blackmore, great dead ball player. Pings it, and anywhere around the box. Give him a chance. What a strike he's got on him.
He's on loan now from Middlesbrough. He's just gone into the second month of a 2-month loan period. And one of his great qualities, Blackmore, is his adaptability. Slotting in midfield or at the back.
It's a good start from the home side. I think they're pushing Bristol Rovers back in these opening few minutes.
Here's Beadle. He's got it on well to Browning. Harris wants it played now, and it was played too far in advance of him, but there were good possibilities there.
Well, after that was a big chance there, and Browning's final pass let him down. Rob Edwards has got to be careful there, because he committed himself, Rob Edwards, the big number 4 for Bristol City, and was totally out the game there. And if Browning's passing a little bit better, City were in trouble. Here's the pass, just a wee bit too much, too heavy, and out comes keeper Naylor.
Jason Harris, another loanee. He's currently on loan from Crystal Palace. He's got another week of that loan period to go. Lee Martin. And slides Kevin Nugent, who's been given his chance in the Bristol City side because of the absence of Gota. Forward by Tilson. Been from Peter Beadle. Well, City seem to have settled quickest, as the early indications from the statistics show.
I thought it was going to be fast and furious at Derby, and Bristol City being the home side, they're the ones that are pushing forward more and more. And I think Joe will be a little bit disappointed with Goodridge's miss in the opening minute. I think he'll be quite happy. Side are settling down now, and I think, you know, if they get the first goal, they're going to be very hard to beat today. You only look at Rovers away from last 6 games, lost 5, and I think if City get the crucial first goal, they can go on and win this match.
Well, they're like cup ties, these local derbies, very much one-off matches, so form isn't always the best guide, but City have suffered only 1 defeat in their last 14 games, and they're getting into their stride again here now, with Clayton Blackmore. Agostino going up for it, showing how well he can leap, and he'll get another chance! And it's cleared off the line by Pritchard, I think. Turned back across, and cleared by Lockwood. Well, I think it was Pritchard's initial header which gave the ball straight back to Agostino, but he redeemed the situation by throwing himself between the ball and the goal line.
Yeah, Agostino should have scored there, but he's done the right thing. He's hit the target, kept it low. But well done, David Pritchard. Bristol Rovers too. You know, he's done his defender's job, and I just wonder if Joe Jordan's think, is it going to be one of these days? Golden opportunity, but Agostino keeps it down. Great defending.
Pritchard. Hayfield sweeping it in, and Rob Edwards making sure that that was his and nobody else's. Away with one from Holloway. Agostino underneath it again. Here's Goodridge, testing Lee Martin, but leaving the ball behind for Lockwood.
Rovers had plenty of players back there. The blue and white jerseys were all helping Lee Martin there. And in the end, just trotting on the ball, Gregory Goodridge.
Well, Rovers having to be resourceful in their defending. And it's City who are asking the most searching questions going forward at the moment.
I think Agostino's doing well for City up there. He's put himself about, and he's dominating all the aerial stuff so far.
Turned away by Rob Edwards, but Agostino has been in great scoring form early on.
Good ball from Blackmore. There's a flick on, and Agostino reacts quicker here. But look at Pritchard getting back on the line. That's a great start.
Agostino's recent scoring has occurred in the FA Cup with 5 goals in City's last two ties. He scored 4 in the match against St Albans, and prior to that he scored after just 17 seconds against Swansea. He's enjoying this derby. Put himself about, strong lad, mobile. But what a great venue for a local derby. And the pitch, Russell Osman was mentioned earlier about nice stadium, lovely pitch, and it's in perfect condition for today's derby. Holloway. It's Matt Hewlett. Clearing only to Pritchard. Darren Barnard. From by Tinian. It seems to me that City are a little bit more eager, a little bit more tougher in the tackle. It looks to me as if they want to win the 50-50s, that's just slightly more. Rovers soaking things up at the moment. A couple of narrow escapes though. Pollard rushing off that effort early on from Goodrich. Pritchard defending well against Agostino. Browning trying to hit one in from the edge of the area. Charged down there by Taylor. Hewlett looking to pick out Goodrich. He's lost out to Lockwood, but the free kick given to the City man. Yeah, a little bit of a block there, but the referee right on the ball. I think Goodrich is one of these frustrating type of players. You know, he can either be brilliant or sometimes he can be so frustrating. A little bit casual at times, but other times when he's going past defenders, he is a good crosser of the ball. And that's what Joe Jordan will be looking for today. It's the 81st League derby between these two old rivals, and City have definitely had the upper hand in previous contests. 30 victories to Rovers 23. So Rovers with a historical record to sit a little straighter. They're looking for Lockwood here, flick on towards Harris, and Taylor threw his body in the way. The Rovers probing away here. It's a good spell. Browning looking for nice subtle build-up. Harris trying to conceal the ball from Edwards. Beadle trying to lash it back in. Cleared by Goodrich. Fairly desperate defending though by City at the moment. This is Holloway. Can he pierce the defence? Good defending. It was Nugent who proved himself there. The first line of defence. He said Agostino on his way now. And Agostino is away. He's run Tilson, having already beaten Clark. And that's a fine individual goal. Made and finished superbly by the Australian Agostino. Aston Gate erupts. What a quality finish from Agostino. He missed one earlier, but goodness me, didn't he slot this home lovely? He suddenly realises that he's away, he's in full flight, he's got the pace. That's great play. Coming across two defenders, and what a quality finish in between the goalkeeper's legs. Great battling quality. Collett comes out through the legs, and City go one up. Super strike. Agostino into double figures for the season, and didn't City turn defence into attack in the most devastating fashion. One moment they were under pressure, Nugent won the possession back for City, and even though Agostino had both central defenders back against him, he managed to beat them both off and supply the perfectly cool finish. Here's Holloway. It's Pritchard, the man who denied Agostino earlier, now trying to cancel out Agostino's goal.
Well, you were right there, Rob, because Nugent was the one who got the challenge in, but this big fella here, Andy Tilson, I think when he watches a rerun here, I think he'll find out what am I doing diving in there, because when Agostino comes across, the big fella Tilson goes steaming in. This is the break down the left. Now watch Agostino when he comes inside. Now look at Tilson going over. I think he makes it easy for Agostino to slot the ball in. I just felt he dived in there when he could have held his ground a little bit, Rob.
Another little reminder for Terry Venables from Paul Agostino, already capped at full international level by Australia, and surely now making himself part of the thinking of the new national coach.
I think it was a very promising start from Bristol City. Now they've got the early goal. Rovers are going to have to roll the sleeves up and battle away here, because I feel there's another goal coming from the home side.
Well, in Ian Holloway, they've got a man who at least can get stuck in there and lead from the front. Joe Jordan has to rely on his pre-match instructions to have done the trick. Sure, he'd rather be out there playing.
There's a smile, Joe. He's got to be delighted. Great start.
Sure, you're never smiling when it's only 1-0 after 19 minutes. They're looking fairly comfortable with it, but Rovers are a dogged side. They'll dig in. It means such a lot to them.
Just leading up to the goal, Rovers were actually having a good spell, weren't they? Pushing away, probing away at City.
And it's Paul Agostino away again. Nugent and Goodrich herring into the box. The defender slipped. It's open for Goodrich. And hardly exemplary finishing from him.
But that's the frustration I'm telling you about this guy. You know, he seems to be so casual. Watch when this ball comes across. Goodrich gets it in the far post and sort of stops. And there's the strike. Oh dear. I don't think that'll bring any smiles to Big Joe's face.
It's a very casual finish, wasn't it?
Well, to be fair to him, he got in the position. But I thought, well, you know, take a touch and make sure. But he just sort of casually swung his leg at that one. And the end product was nowhere near good enough. Good work again, though, from Agostino.
Here's Lockwood. Harris. Blackmore.
I think Blackmore has seen the ball there. I hope the ref keeps his yellow card in his pocket, because I feel like maybe Blackmore's elbow caught Harris, not meaning to, because he goes to the ball here. There's the shoulder hitting Harris in the head. Well done, ref. Keep your yellow cards in the pocket. Here it comes. It's just the shoulder. It's a bit of the shoulder on the arm. I don't think anything was meant. Clayton's not really that type of player.
The referee's read it well. I think he made the point to Blackmore that he'd seen there was no malicious intent on his part. All bunched up for the free kick, which will be delivered by Lee Martin. Charleston, the player, coming in at the back stick, and it's Naylor's hand that gets there first.
That was a deep searching cross, wasn't it? Naylor had to come between bodies there, and I don't know if he was going to try and catch punch, and in the end it's right deep to the far post. There's Naylor going for it. He gets a hand in it and pushes it safely away from the corner.
Possibilities here for Rovers to search out an equaliser. Lockwood's corner, headed clear by Gary Allers.
So frustrating when you get a chance, an opportunity to get it in the box. How many times do you see a cross, especially at this level, hitting the first defender?
Turned forward by Clark. And there was a shove by Beadle that was punished by the referee with a free kick.
Oh, Beadle was a little bit unlucky there, I felt. I thought Sean Taylor was maybe perhaps doing a bit of shoving there. A little bit unlucky.
Edwards have so far managed to screen Naylor from having to do any serious work. Managed to palm that free kick from Lee Martin away when he was called upon. Darren Barnard. Hayfield. Trying to get stuck in, but it was Hewlett who got there first. This is Allers. Running straight into Hayfield. Oh, and then Edwards goes right through. And this time the card will come out.
Well, there's no point apologising to the ref here, because that is a guaranteed yellow. And that was a, wow, I thought that was a silly lunge, that was. Right under the referee's nose. He's got to be very, very careful. Yeah, no doubt about that one. Yellow card. And Rob Edwards. Well, another one like that and he'll be having an early shower. Here's a challenge. Very, very late.
Martin's kick. Tilson going up for it. It's cleared to Holloway. This is Lockwood. Nugent. Just wondering there, Rob, if Ian Holloway said something nasty in the local press about Bristol City, because he's getting a torrid time from the Bristol City fans. Holloway's main concern in the build-up to the game was the way that it was being built up and what he described as the boastful nature of the Bristol people, because he did say that they weren't only prepared to see their team win, but to win well. He said that no matter where he's been lately, City fans have been coming up to him and saying, not only are we going to beat you, but we're going to stuff you. Well, the way the game's going at the moment, I think if a second goal comes, it could be. It's very difficult, player manager, in a situation like this. You're one down, your first local derby, you try to get on with your game, but you're trying to get instructions over. Help the players, especially the younger players alongside you. And I think he's feeling it tough at the moment. It's the first game back after 4 matches out. He was suspended, he had a knee injury and a touch of flu as well during that time on the sidelines. The right sort of hard-working player to have in there when you're trying to pull back from a deficit as Rovers are. Oh, he's a good competitor, no doubt about it. Not a prolific goal scorer from midfield, but give a challenge, he'll be in there mixing it. Trying to make room for the cross, and it's aimed towards Lockwood. This is Beadle. Edwards with the block. Nugent. He's held it up well again. This is ours. Nugent is a big lad, big 10 for Bristol City, just holding it up well, and that's what you need in a local derby. When to give your defence a little breather, get it up front, and hopefully they can keep a hold of it and keep possession. Usually signed from Plymouth in the deal that took Ian Baird in the opposite direction. Harris has done well here. But Edwards came back. Lockwood now gets it back in. Well, that was promising signs from Jason Harris. Yeah, just at the last minute there, I thought, go on, have a strike, let fly, but he tried a little bit too clever. And in the end, it was dispossessed. Maybe a bit of a psychological advantage for the Rovers forward line that they now have City defender Edwards on a yellow card. Going to be a little more cautious going in for challenges now, Edwards.
And Nugent just caught Holloway as well there. But as you say, centre halves, early yellow card, they have to be ever so careful now. I have to say it was a blatant free kick, lunging from a long way and right under the nose of the referee.
Well, it was the away teams that had the upper hand in both league meetings last season. Bristol City won 4-2 at Twerton Park and Bristol Rovers won 2-0 here. But it's the home team who've achieved the first breakthrough in this encounter.
Chatting to a couple of supporters outside, Rob, they were saying that Bristol City were all over Rovers when they lost 2-0 here at Ashton Gate. But I think he was worried about today's game. I think he'll be a happy man at the present moment.
Pritchard. Header on by Beadle, and Blackmore with the clearance. And it's another chance perhaps for Harris. Taylor in the way. This is Lockwood. Nice control from the youngster. Martin feeding it back in. And the City rear guard at the moment holding firm.
I think Taylor's doing well for them back there. Big fella, heading the ball well. But just now and again, seem to be going walkies, a bit of ball watching back there for Bristol City. And I think they've just got to get a little bit more organised because Rovers are looking a bit menacing now.
Flick on again by Agostino, and he almost made another opening for himself.
Just wonder if he was held back there, Rob. Because, you know, first of all, he gets the initial opening, spins, tries to get on his own pass, but I just wonder, was he held back here?
Well, there's no holding Agostino at the moment, it seems. He's been a real live wire figure. Powers. Nugent.
Once again, good hold up from Nugent. He doesn't look the most mobile of strikers, but he's doing his job well so far.
Perhaps showing the wisdom of his selection ahead of Sean Goater at the moment, Kevin Nugent. Pushed through by Beadle, and now Harris is away with Lockwood for support. And plenty of City defenders there for company too.
Crikey, he could have played it to Lockwood as well, couldn't he? I think sometimes Harris, maybe that's the frustrating part of his game, that he sometimes overdoes it. When a simple pass was on there for Lockwood, and I'm sure Lockwood's telling them now.
20 years of age, Jason Harris. He was farmed out by Palace to non-league Dover last season and is clearly picking up plenty of experience on loan before he makes the breakthrough at Selhurst Park.
He's definitely causing Edwards and Taylor, you know, they've got to think about this because he's roaming free. One of them, I think, has got to make the decision to keep an eye on him, and it looks like Taylor's making that. Big lad, Taylor. Right, I wouldn't want to upset him.
Tinian. Clark looking for Beadle. Given away by Barnard to Pritchard. Oh, clearance by Edwards, a little fortunate.
I hope he meant that, because if he did, that was a great ball, but I doubt it.
Nice build up here. Nugent and Goodridge. Agostino is forward too. Away past Lee Martin that time. Good defending.
Good tackle from Martin, and look at him getting forward too.
Good defending there too again from Sean Taylor. This is Hewlett. Tinian for Bristol City. Three in a line along the front for the home side. It's Agostino pulling out wide. Nugent's in the middle. Goodridge going into the area too. Free kick against Clark.
You've got to watch Agostino's runs. He's peeling off wide. And I don't think you can get away with him. The good movement from Agostino. You know, that's where his goal came from, that inside left channel, and once again, roaming free.
Blackmore is going over to join the discussions for the free kick as Agostino and Nugent wait at the edge of the box.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Clayton tries a strike.
Here's Blackmore, but he'd given the wall enough time to pull back from their 10-yard distance, and Holloway was the man who blocked it. Goodridge.
Probably been looking for a little bit more off Goodridge down this right-hand side.
Bly with a throw now. Clark's clearance. Tussle between Lockwood and Goodridge. Good advantage played. Don't forget, more football to come for you this afternoon over on Sky Sports 1. It's Sunderland against Chelsea in the FA Carling Premiership on Super Sunday.
The Rovers seem to be, I think they feel the threat could come, the main threat is down the right, because they keep doubling up on Goodridge. And so far he's got one early crossing and that's it.
Hewlett. Richard looking for the run of Peter Beadle. Holloway. Tom by Kickoff first time.
I just feel the Rovers have a little bit more quality with the final pass here, Rob, because I think Bristol City are beginning to take the foot off the pedal. Rovers are definitely clawing their way back into this.
Yeah, Yes, Rovers seem to have steadied themselves since Agostino's strike after 16 minutes. And Bristol City build on the early advantage that they've secured for themselves. Hewlett. Here's Taylor, who really has been such a shrewd buy for Bristol City. Very, very strong in the air. Break on here for Tinian, not much on for him in the middle. So Tilson wasn't taking any chances anyway. Again, it's down the left-hand side where the danger's coming from. Rovers tried a little bit offside there, but it didn't work. And Tinian just hopefully put it in the box. Goodridge hasn't had too much success with crosses from open play early on. What can he do with a corner? Taylor! Yeah, good ball this time from the right-hand side from Goodridge. And Taylor climbed above everyone at the far post, but just couldn't get it. A little bit more accuracy on it. Good header, strong in the air, this guy Taylor. Right to the far post, but not on target. Joe Jordan pounced to sign Taylor as soon as he'd fallen out of favour at Swindon. Not too much of a move for him to make in mileage terms, but he really has given Joe Jordan's side a healthy boost since he came in. Yeah, a little bit of a late challenge there. By Holloway on Darren Barnard. Barnard and Tinian, who link up so well down that left-hand side, and that is where the main danger is emanating from. It's nice because if Tinian goes deep with the ball off Barnard, then Agostino gets in that space that Tinian leaves in the inside left channel. Billy Clark holding on to Nugent. I think it was a smashing goal, the opening goal, but I thought the two centre-halves could have done a wee bit better, to be honest. Clark, first of all, letting Agostino in front of him, and then the big fella just diving in. I'm sure Andy Tilson will be desperate to make up for that. There's Blackmore. There's Tilson. Another goal just before half-time wouldn't go amiss for City. Otherwise, the atmosphere will still be shot through with tension in the second half. Harris battling away with Taylor, and it will have caused some concern for City in the way that Taylor went down there, particularly having had that collarbone injury previously in the FA Cup side of Swansea. When he went down here, I thought, crikey. And actually it was his arm, it was Harris's arm, and when he went down like that, I thought he's poleaxed. He soon got to his feet. He's built to take a few knocks, I think, isn't he? Really gets stuck in, does Taylor. Hayfield and Barnard getting a bit too much stuck in this time. Wow, it was a little scuffle, wasn't it? I don't think it was a punch in it thrown. It was just a little bit of a scuffle. And Barnard in the end, he did raise his arm, but I don't think there was any real problem there. In fact, the referee deciding that Hayfield's made a meal of it. He went down as if he took a right hook from Tyson. Well, it's still going to take Darren Barnard's name by the look of it. Well, if you do raise your arm, even if it's a little shove, a little push away, the referee can easily produce the yellow card. And that's exactly what's happening. And Barnard will feel, well, it wasn't necessary, was it? 1 up on goals, 2 down on bookings, Bristol City. And Beadle was nearly in trouble there as well. And the little chat with the referee. I think the roar of disapproval was for the fact that Hayfield didn't have the same treatment dished out to him by the referee for his part in that little scuffle. Tinian with the throw. No, he's going to leave it for the man just shown the yellow card. Well, after a frantic start, I think the game's beginning to settle down now. And as you were saying, Rob, Joe Jordan will be praying for one more goal. 2-goal cushion at half-time would be delightful, but when it's at 1, Rovers have always got a chance of getting back in it. Agostino, the danger man, just showed too much of it that time to Clark. Hewlett. Support provided by Tinian. Wilson jostling to get in front of Kevin Nugent. Here's Harris, a real outlet for him on that far side. Yeah, he's just looking for a little layoff there. Decided there was nothing on. He just tried to clip it and get after it. Here's Holloway. It's by Edwards. This is Gary Hours. Beadle coming back to challenge well. Peter Beadle had been taking his defensive responsibilities seriously enough. This is Gary Hours trying to force it through Holloway's legs. And here's Hayfield. The Rovers have tried to get men behind the ball now, make it difficult for City, and then try and catch them on the break with a long ball, but so far the final ball's not been accurate enough. Aaron Barnard, the former Chelsea player. This is Lockwood. Steal themselves out of trouble very comfortably and quickly spring into attack. This is where they're very dangerous. Curled in towards Nugent. Some luck in that ball from Barnard. Just trying to get it in behind the centre half between the goalkeeper. Just a little bit too close to goalkeeper Collett. Spring forward though so quickly that that's been the best move of the match. Lovely sweeping passes and again down that left-hand side. I think Rovers are... Holloway's going to have a little chat at half-time. Agostino's away again. Nugent in the box if you can find him. And Tilson that time blocks the route to Kevin Nugent. Well, Agostino, he's definitely got a ton of pace and he's strong with it. And again, down that left-hand side, little shirt tugging going on there. Good ball. And the big defender this time getting it clear. Tinian's corner, Agostino and Taylor both up for it. Get a second bite at the cherry here. It's Goodrich. Will make the most of the throw-in. Tell you what, it's not a bad throw. Unfortunately, there was no one there for him, but it wasn't exactly a loopy one, was it? It was powered to the near post. I just feel Bristol City might have a little bit of joy later on with one of these throw-ins. That time, too close to the keeper. Lockwood. Goodrich, his former Queen's Park Rangers teammate, coming back to make the challenge. For Marcus Browning. Real neat play, but Agostino just mistimed his run. Yeah, I agree it was offside, but Rovers are playing a dangerous game now. Billy Clark and Andy Tilson both stepping up. And there was a beautiful run the left-hand side. I think Agostino was the man who was offside. But a good run from Tilson here on the left-hand side. And there's no doubt about it. And is he onside? I think he's in his own half there when that run was made. So Rovers have to be very, very careful these runs of Agostino. Well, looks like they've got a bit of a lucky break there. Agostino has asked so many searching questions of this Rovers defence with his scorching pace. Mayfield. This is Harris.
Yeah, referee spotted that. Late challenge from Harris. Good play from the ref there, because he'd spotted it, had to look to see if there was advantage going to be played, but Harris was certainly lunging, and that's a good decision. It's Harris trying to follow through. No contact made, but I don't think the referee liked the boot being so high from Harris.
Goodridge. His moment, and Blackmore joined the attack.
Yeah, good chance for Blackmore to get the ball in there, but again, final ball not quite good enough. Trying to bend it in behind the centre halves and the goalkeeper, but Andy Collett springing from his line, no problem.
Most danger has been posed to Collett and Rovers from the other side. Out Nugent. Powers got it through. It was a nice idea, the run from Barnard, who stayed in the attack and might be put through here.
It's refreshing to see a full-back making runs like that. Okay, the ball never reached Barnard, but when he made the first run, it didn't come. He suddenly realised there was more danger, made a second one, and again the ball was just slightly overhit.
Barnard has actually scored 5 goals this season, which isn't a bad record for a left-back. 2 of those were penalties.
Nugent's done a good job up there. He's holding the ball up. You know, it's going to be a battle, local derby. Maybe that's why the big fella's in the side.
Goodridge. Heavy one for Tinian. Has to be careful here against Brian Tinian. Oh, we're escalating towards half-time. And this is Barnard. Showing all the commitment that he'll require from his troops in the second half, a half in which they'll be asked to come back from a 1-goal deficit thanks to this man, Paul Agostino. He really has devastated Bristol Rovers, and from such a quick break he shook off both central defenders before supplying that magnificent finish. Agostino before that had an effort cleared off the line, and City have certainly been in the ascendancy in this first 45 minutes. City 1, Rovers 0.
At half-time, scored by the Australian Paul Agostino after 16 minutes. Quite a few fouls, as you'd expect in a local derby. Nothing dirty, though. Just a couple of bookings. And the first half action areas for you. Midfield play at Bristol City having more of the play in the Rovers penalty area. And Russell Osman and John Ward are here this afternoon. Bristol City just seem to have more in every department at the moment. I know they're 1-0 up, but they just look good all round.
Yeah, they do. They're getting the ball wide and they're doing a lot of damage to Bristol Rovers down the flanks, especially down the Bristol City left flank. Pritchard and Matty Hayfield, you know, chasing shadows down there at the moment. And once they get round further down the pitch there, and Agostino's taking Billy Clark all over the place.
Yeah, it's been his half, really, hasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
he nearly put them 1-0 up before he scored the goal, didn't he?
Yeah, works very hard.
John, he's a good player. We spotted him up before the kick-off. Fast, quick. He's got almost everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player. But I think Alan was a bit harsh blaming him there for missing that. I think if you look at Pritchard, he makes the first header there, and then he continues to play and cover his goalkeeper. And I think that's great defending by David Pritchard on the line, whereas Agostino's done everything possible. It's an awkward ball coming down, but he's volleyed it, hit the target, beat the keeper, but Pritchard's done great for me.
Well, I hope Terry Venables is watching this afternoon, the Australian coach, because his goal in the 16th minute. There was pace, there was strength, a great finish, Russell.
Yeah, well, this is what we're talking about, that area down there where Billy Clark's having to chase him all over the place. He's cut across inside Tilson there, and straight away he's caught the keeper, you know, coming out to him before the keeper's got himself ready, as John was saying earlier. A great finish, but that's where the danger's coming from, down that left-hand flank there.
I know, John, that you fancied Bristol City to win this one. Do you still feel that they're going to win this game?
Yeah, I do. I think the Bristol Rovers have got to do something about that problem in the right-back area. I think Matty Hayfield's not sure whether to go on to Barnard at full-back. He's got caught in between. David Pritchard's getting pulled into Tinian, who doesn't play forward, he plays deep. David's getting sucked in there, and as we've seen there, Agostino's taking Clark wide on that left back goal, that right back position for them, and he's giving him problems with his pace, and that is a problem area for Bristol Rovers.
Well, 1-0 to Bristol City. It is at half-time. Rovers are still in the game. It's the big Bristol Derby here on Sky Sports 3 this afternoon, but the Bristol City fans happy enough with that first 45 minutes. Rovers with plenty to do. Getting a good talking to from Ian Holloway, their playing manager at the moment, and the whole of the second half is coming up after the break. Scoring that goal in the 16th minute, and we've had a look at him in action and the goal, but perhaps John Ward, the move of the half also involved Bristol City, and Gregory Goodbridge had a good chance, didn't he?
Yeah, he's made a great run from square sort of Bristol Rovers defence. He's come in there, I said at the time, and I've looked at it a time or two since, I wonder why he's come in on his left foot when he could have carried on with his right foot, perhaps given himself a little better angle. He's made it a little bit easier for the keeper to stand up, and Collett's good at that 1v1. He's agile, he's brave, he's lively. I just wonder why he came in on his left foot when perhaps he had a better angle at right foot.
Well, it definitely was a good move anyway that led to that chance for Gregory Goodbridge. 1-0 to Bristol City at half-time. The Rovers fans still looking fairly optimistic. And what do you think, Russell, briefly, they have to do in the second half? Obviously, they've got to score at least once. How are they going to do it?
Well, I think Ian will wind them up a little bit for the second half, try and get stuck into it a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a bit more of an aggressive attitude to the second half. He's got to try and stop the ball getting wide to Tinian and Barnard, who are, you know, then supplying good balls into that right-back position, you know, for Agostino. They've got to try and lock him up.
Can they do it, John?
I think they've got to get more shots. They've only worked the goalkeeper once. Collett's been the busier of the two keepers, and they've got to do better in the front part of the side, Bristol Rovers.
OK, thanks, John. Let's get back to Ashton Gate. Joe Jordan, the Bristol City manager, is with George Gavin.
Joe, what was your message at half-time?
Well, I'm reasonably happy the way we've played. I think up until the goal, we made a few chances, but we only stuck one away. But I thought after the goal, I thought we just stood back a little bit and allowed Bristol Rovers to come into the game for about 10, 12 minutes. But again, after that, we seemed to get a grip of the game, and I think we dominated it. But there was that period, that 10, 15 minutes, where we allowed them too much space and room.
OK, thanks very much, Joe.
OK, cheers.
Happy birthday to Joe Jordan, who's 45 today, and Paul Agostino may have given him the perfect reason to go out and celebrate in style tonight, but they've got to hold on to the lead that Agostino has given City. And it's Rovers kicking off the second half towards the east stand, which is where their own supporters are massed. Although it's the first league meeting of the side since Ian Holloway took over as Rovers manager, they did meet in a so-called pre-season friendly in an annual fixture called the Gloucester Cup, and Bristol City won 1-0 on that occasion. Sean Goater, who's on the bench for City today, got the goal on that occasion.
I think it's important here to start the second half that Rovers put City under a little bit of pressure. Get the ball up the other end of the park, put them under pressure and try and, you know, get at them a little bit more.
Hours. Agostino again. Clark played for the goal kick, and as Agostino's was the last touch, he gets it.
I think Billy Clark will be, you know, I'm sure at half-time Ian Holloway said, you know, you've got to get closer to Agostino. Don't let him drag you out there on the flanks. You know, organise your defence better. The likes of Pritchard's going forward, he's getting caught out, and that's the big gap, the big space in behind Pritchard.
Helped on by Lockwood. Here's Blackmore. Gregory Goodbridge. Been infuriating really for the City fans in the first half. He's got into some great positions.
His distribution, his final ball's been a lot to be desired. There's a golden opportunity he had. Clean through the keeper to beat. I felt he brought on his left foot to create a better angle, but it was just a little bit lackadaisical at the final moment, which gave goalkeeper Andy Collett a great chance of smothering it.
The other end, it's Stuart Naylor, who was released by West Brom in the close season. He'd had a good 10 years there.
Well, so City fans are on fine voice now. They feel their side are going to hold on here, perhaps go on and get second. But the Rovers fans at half-time applauded their side off the park, so they were quite happy, even though their side are one down.
Holloway. Here's Browning. Lockwood. Browning with 3 in support. And what was Tinian doing there? Almost seemed as though Tinian wanted to do Rovers a favour.
Goodness me, no wonder he's thinking, thank you very much. But that's a great ball. And look at Tinian there. He forgets what end he's at. Good stop, keeper, because he couldn't have expected that.
By Taylor, but off Beadle last. But if there was to be any tension in this second half, you'd think it would be with Rovers, but it was Bristol City showing the nerves there.
Well, Tinian, he must be thinking, goodness me, that was almost an automatic substitution had that have gone in. But a great break down the left-hand side, and it's a beautiful cutback ball. Now watch this. He's got to have nightmares over that.
Had to put up with his fair amount of stick anyway from the Bristol City fans. As Brian Tinian, he actually put in a transfer request last season because he was under so much pressure from the terraces, and I don't think he would have exactly enhanced his popularity had that gone in.
That had gone in. That could have been his last game, I tell you. Of course he didn't mean it, but his manager Joe must be thinking, oh, what a start that was the second half. It'll give Bristol Rovers a lot of heart, Rob. Maybe they'll sign him.
He did once score a legendary goal at the right end for Bristol City at Anfield against Liverpool to knock them out of the FA Cup. That would have gone down as equal legendary status, but in a much more negative fashion for Brian Tinian. And nice decoy run by Browning, which almost let Harris through, but Taylor had read the situation.
Beautiful dummy from Browning there. Had Harris been a little bit more alert, City were in trouble. But this is a good start to the second half from Bristol Rovers.
Harris lets it go, and Blackmore in the way. Holloway.
Sitting a little bit hesitant here. I just feel that Rovers believe in it. Another couple of nice final balls like we've seen a few moments ago. They could easily get back on level terms.
Bearing in mind they're in the lead, they're surprisingly unsure of themselves at the moment. There's a wayward ball again then from Tinian. Tilson in the way of that latest ball from Brian Tinian. And a free kick given against Nugent.
Well, Joe Jordan diving out the bench there. And he must feel that his side have gone to sleep here.
Clear sign that Rovers are making their very, very best efforts to get back into this game.
I think the message was clear at half-time. Come on, we need more. We've got to get at them. We've got to push them back. That's exactly what they're doing.
Here's Lee Martin. Well, he's been known for scoring a big-time goal in his earlier career with Manchester United, but he wasn't anywhere near emulating it there.
Well, I don't think he had much option there. He was carrying the ball, thinking, right, who's on? So I'll just chuck it in the box. No, why not? Let's have a go. But very ambitious.
Lee Martin, who was picked up by Ian Holloway, having been released by Celtic. But it's a big match this for Ian Holloway. He'll have more reason than most for wanting to turn around the situation. His first league derby as manager, and he knows just how much it means to the supporters. He had a good record in his purely playing days with Rovers. This is his third spell at the club. And he's lost only 3 of his previous 12 League Derby matches against the old rivals. He's showing great hunger. He wants the free kick taken quickly now. He's bombed up to the penalty area. Martin taking a more restrained approach. Tilson challenging for it. And a vital header away by Kevin Nugent, who is actually hurt in that, and wisely, with head injuries involved, the referee has brought an immediate halt to proceedings.
It was a brave header. Was that Nugent or was it Taylor, Rob? Because he was going back there on his heels and somehow managed to get up. Yeah, it was Nugent. Good header. Teasing ball at the box. Now you see Nugent, my ball. And just takes a little clash of heads.
It's Tilson who is worst off.
Joe Jordan coming off the bench now, trying to get some instructions on. Talk to Rob Edwards. I think Joe can't be happy with this start. Half-time, all was well, but all of a sudden, his team are under the cosh.
Tilson mercifully seems to be all right again. That little break in play has just given City a bit of time to draw breath. They've been under pressure for much of the start of this second half. And they haven't been showing the calm confidence that was in evidence towards the end of the first period.
I think City's midfield's gone to sleep a little bit here. They're not contesting the 50-50s. And Ian Holloway's side, I think in the middle of the park, are that bit sharper the second half.
Well, just when things start to go off the boil a little, you look at possibilities for substitutions, and if they want to give a little bit of impetus to that midfield, and Bristol City do have Martin Krul waiting in reserve.
If a little bit grit in there, it may just be Goodridge, the man who's to come off, because they're not getting a lot from him down that right-hand side.
Here's Harris. Browning. Darren Barnard in the way. And free kick given against Beadle for the challenge on Sean Taylor.
Yeah, good contest between them two. But Taylor was certainly nudged there, and referee was right in the spot. There's Nugent, up goes the arm, little nudge. The referee, once again, correct.
Agostino. Clearance by David Pritchard.
He does love this inside left channel. Agostino, but Pritchard this time, every chance he tries to drag the big centre half in that channel.
Tom by Tinian. Brian Tinian, who gave City fans a few heart murmurs.
It's always difficult when you're getting a bit of stick from your home fans, but that would have been an absolute disaster for them. And when your confidence low and something like that happens and it flies in the back of the net, especially in a derby, oh, thank goodness for his goalkeeper. He won't be buying short nail and a pint tonight.
Harris. And he's looking to tease Naylor here.
It's fair to say Harris hasn't got a right foot. How did he get that across? I'd love to see that again. Goodness me. That was a Maradona. Surely this is a right foot cross. But good, you know, good work there from Arsenal. Look at this. Little hint for defenders here. Get him on his right foot.
Tinian. Agostino. Challenged by Hayfield.
The Rovers are now winning. I thought the first half it was Bristol City who were winning the knockdowns and the 50-50s. Now Rovers are beginning to get their fair share.
Well, it looks as though Ian Holloway and his assistant Jeff Twentyman have really got Rovers pumped up for this second half. obviously depends a lot on Jeff Twentyman as he fulfills the playing role as well. Twentyman, his eyes from the touchline. Here's Hewlett making room for himself. Well, the youngster! Oh, what a spectacular effort! Well, first half I thought this guy's elegant. Good balance, good feet, and this is a great opportunity. What a lovely strike, and I think this is beat Collett. Great strike, just unfortunately dipping at the last minute, and I think the keeper was beaten there. Great strike, very unlucky from the youngster. Just 20 years of age, Matt Hewlett. And the only Bristol Borden player in the City starting 11. He almost made one half of Bristol very happy then. Good challenge as well. Looks like he's got a bright future. Made his debut, age just 17, Matt Hewlett, and is firmly establishing himself as part of the City midfield. And City now are beginning to get the foot in the ball a little bit better. Turned away by Andy Tilson. Yeah, he's a little bit unsure there. Well, he tried the back pass, and in the end, if you're unsure, I think he's done the right thing. Get it out. He was aware of the lurking presence of Kevin Nugent just behind him, but we've seen before the danger that Goodrich can cause from throw-ins. He's taken it short, though, this time. Goodrich again, looking for Tinian. Nugent will challenge, and the whistle had already blown. I don't think the referee liked the challenge too much.
Yeah, a little bit of climbing there. But Tinian, that was a good ball. Good first time ball into the box with the left foot. And at the back there, here's the ball. Just chucks it in there. He knows he's got a couple of red jerseys. There's the climb. Maybe a little bit unlucky.
Well, City fans quite happy with the way things are going at the moment. It's always a special atmosphere for these Bristol derbies. The fact that last season's was midweek when both teams were mid-table led many to believe that there'd only be a crowd of about 14 or 15,000, and they were actually allowing people on the day and ended up with 6,000 people locked out.
I think derby matches, the result's most important, isn't it? It's not how you play and the passing and the movement. It's all about who wins. And the Bristol City fans, although they've not a lot to shout about in the second half, apart from that lovely strike on the crossbar, they'll be delighted at the moment, 1-up.
Well, 5 points separated the two teams at the start of the day, with Bristol City in the higher position. And at the moment, things are going with form. But Bristol Rovers may shortly be about to change things around a bit in terms of personnel. Come by Agostino, clearance by Lee Martin. Holloway. Hewlett. Spreading it well to Tinian. Now Barnard has gone on a forward run. Nice ball, Holloway across quickly, and he took him out.
No, boys. Yeah, Holloway diving in there. Barnard was flying. And there's only one option here for the referee, and that's a yellow. There's a challenge. Okay, wasn't high, but very late. I'm afraid the player manager gets a yellow card. Good run from Barnard, though. Tinian just flicking it on. Barnard away. And Holloway, yeah, rather late.
Well, he already felt the warmth of the reception here at Ashton Gate, Ian Holloway. And after that yellow card, I think he's perhaps in for an even rougher ride now from these fans. It's Tinian's free kick, it's Agostino!
He played well, didn't he? Nice ball this time from Tinian. Applauding the header. It wasn't too far away, sweeps it in with the left foot. Good jump this is from the Australian. and unlucky.
Bit of an Australian connection here at Bristol City that Terry Venables will do well to note. Agostino, who's really forced his way and settled into the first team, and also David Seal on the sidelines, who was actually top scorer for City last season, but can't get a game in the first team this year.
Someone might be better point out to Terry that he is Australian, especially with a name like that.
And Harris, this time fouled by Edwards, who's already been booked.
Bye-bye.
And it's going to be a second yellow card for Edwards, and that has to be followed by the red. Edwards, on his return after a hamstring injury, sent off.
Well, what can you say? It was a terrible challenge first half, and you can't do that. Harris has outpaced him. Crazy tackle. Goodness me, Joe Jordan has got to be raging with his defender now. First half, you know, when you make challenges like that, you go in the boot, you're always tempting the referee, and Big Joe must be, wow, he must be very, very disappointed. No option for the referee. Exciting challenge. Harris was too fast for Edwards. Let's go to the shower, son.
David Orr had no option but to send off Rob Edwards. And while Bristol City are forced to reorganise, Bristol Rovers are voluntarily making a change. And on for Rovers comes Lee Archer, replacing Lockwood. Matthew Lockwood, the player who's gone off, and Archer coming on to replace him. And City too are planning a change, it seems, as Edwards wends his way off. They're going to bolster their defence by taking off Gregory Goodridge, and Joe Jordan is going to throw Lewis Carey on in Goodridge's place.
Well, I don't think that's a disappointment to anyone, or a shock to anyone. Gregory Goodridge, you really failed to get past the fullback and get his teasing crosses in. And in fact, the only threat coming from Gregory Goodridge was probably his long throw, which is not good enough if you're a winger.
Well, Carey has been playing at right back. He's also been played in central defence this season, so he'll slot straight in for Edwards. City's task made more difficult now as they look to hold on to this 1-0 lead.
Oh, who'd be a manager? It's crazy, isn't it? There was no need for the challenge anyway out there, you know. Big Joe, well, he's got to organise now, Joe. 1 up. It's a case of hanging on now, holding on to this, hopefully 3 points for him.
I think the red card was one card he didn't want to see on his birthday.
But this fella here, he must fancy his chances now, Holloway. Come on, boys, we can get back in this. Let's be patient. Don't go crazy 11 against 10. But surely have a great chance of getting back in this match.
They come by Agostino.
Goes, hasn't he, Beadle at Sean Taylor? 2 big lads. Beadle, well, he'd rather be beating them in the air, little flick-ons, and keep fouling them. And I think Taylor's done well in the air today.
Well, you're never quite sure how the loss of a player with that replacement is going to affect a team. Sometimes it galvanises them.
Agostino did be right to be a little bit unhappy about that decision. A bit of 50-50 there, Agostino and the big fella, Tilson. Agostino maybe backing in a little bit, the referee didn't like.
Well, logic would tell you that Bristol Rovers will have to make the most of this numerical advantage with a little bit of power play in the remainder of this game.
I think you'll find Nugent's going to play almost as a midfield player now. He won't be playing up front with Agostino, he'll be a little bit back. And Tinian as well, he'll be playing back, trying to help his midfield players.
Hanging on to what they've got is the criteria now for Bristol City, and they don't want any more yellow cards given away cheaply, and already having just come onto the field of play, Carey's in trouble.
It's again on Harris. Harris is now becoming deeper. He's looking for the ball. He feels that he's causing trouble.
He needs more of the ball to feet. He's coming looking. That was a silly challenge again from Carey.
Harris is harassing the Bristol City defence. Carey, the latest man, get into trouble with the referee, although it was only a word of warning. It's Lee Martin's free kick, headed away by Taylor. Mayfield dispossessed by Barnard, and now a real chance of a break-on. Tinian, with only Martin back, Holloway is racing back, so too is Browning. Tinian has to go it alone.
Well, it's a player out of confidence, isn't it? Because Tinian had a good look when he picked the ball up deep. He had a little look across the right-hand side, realised he was all alone. Here's the break here. It's a good block here. And suddenly Tinian, he has a look, takes the ball, loads of space. He realises he's got to go on his own. I thought he just slowed down a little bit here. And that's, wow, it's not a good finish at all. I think perhaps a player with confidence might have gone on and taken on the last defender, going all the way. But in the end, deciding, run out of options, thought, oh, I've just got to try and strike it. And in the end, it was an awful, awful finish.
Blackmore winning the free kick. And the lack of confidence that has been displayed by Brian Tinian. I just wonder, Rob, if Agostino's carrying an injury, because I thought he was a threat. Worked very hard, super goal, could have had two. Well, maybe Joe feels he's ran himself into the ground, and on comes the top scorer. Well, Agostino's made a vital contribution, and Sean Gota, who scored against Rovers in that pre-season friendly, now comes on to take his place. Here's Nugent. And Gota involved in the action early on. Oh dear. That was rather high, wasn't it? Referee, well, I wonder what's happening here. Is this going to be a yellow? Because Nugent was very high with the challenge. The ref saying, hey, don't go away, son, just come here a minute. Here we go. And it is rather high on Pritchard, look at that. And I'm afraid that's got to be a yellow. Bruce Lee would have been proud of that. Well, no card shown. Well, I never. He's given a severe talking to about his responsibilities. A little wink there. He's rather lucky, rather fortunate, I feel. Yeah, particularly at a stage where the referee's already sent one Bristol City player off. They don't want to be taking any silly risks. That was roundabout, just under the arm, wasn't it? Still pleased to see Pritchard back his feet. Can Bristol Rovers get back in this, Rob? They must fancy their chances now. Rovers have won a free kick. Ian Holloway wants to get on with it quickly, wisely. Here's Holloway again. Keeper Browning. Here's Archer. Archer made the space, but again, the cross at the box is not good enough. You have to get a bit of height on it. But City are under pressure now. Rovers throwing everything at it. City know they'll be under siege for the remainder of this game. Just under 20 minutes left for Ian Holloway's side to find the equaliser. Clark going in for it. And I think one or two Rovers players got in each other's way.
Nugent again done well there. You know, as I said earlier, he's not the most mobile of players. Clark and Nugent contesting that one. And Clark, well, he got the final touch. But this is where Nugent is definitely handy. There he is in amongst it. Clark gets above them all, but no accuracy.
The removal of Edwards offers real hope as Archer goes in on Gary Hours this time.
Very quiet around Ashton Gate now. The home fans a bit stunned by that sending off.
They're only too well aware of the pitfalls They lie in wait for them. Particularly if this man Hayfield can produce something here. Beadle and Harris up ahead of him. Archer out to the left. Good defending though by Hewlett. Stuck to his task well. And now
Hayfield was thinking about having a pop there, having a strike. But good defending again from the youngster. He's having a cracking match.
Well, no doubt that Rovers have been harmed during the course of the game by the absence through injury of Bennett, but they're working hard to find this equaliser. Archer.
Well, he's only been on for 5 minutes. He's had a couple of chances to get it in. And I don't know whether that was a strike on goal or whether it was an attempted cross. But once again, he'll be a little bit disappointed with that.
And now Jamie Cureton is going to come on for Matt Hayfield as Bristol Rovers look to give a more menacing outlook to their attack.
This little fella, Cureton, I was surprised he wasn't on from the start. Hayfield going off, Cureton on, and I think Cureton could be the player to unlock this Bristol City defence. This little fella is very, very sharp and pacey.
A player who was born in Bristol but had a roundabout route to Bristol Rovers as he came in the end from Norwich. Signed after a successful loan spell with Cureton. Tilson.
Oh, very nice.
Demonstrating centre-half's a lot to do there. Touch of class now. Of course, he has played at the top level in his days with Queen's Park Rangers, Andy Tilson. And although he played with Ian Holloway at Loftus Road, it wasn't actually Holloway who signed him.
That's the difficult Holloway there, shouting the odds, trying to get his team going again, but at the same time trying to, you know, concentrate on his own game. Very difficult player manager.
Least enviable job in the business, perhaps. David Pritchard. Cureton. Nice control from Cureton. Browning just feeding it through. He was caught by Carey, who's had one warning already.
Yeah, I think the referee's seen the 12 again. He said, "Come here, son. I warned you once. You've got to be, you know, out comes a yellow, surely, this time." Because that was late. There's no doubt about it. Here it comes. And I think the referee has got to take some action now.
Yes, I think he's saying to Carey, who's just 19 years of age, that he'd warned him once. And he was just testing the referee's patience to the limit.
A little bit testing patience, but I think Big Joe's patience, Bristol City manager, must be wearing very thin.
Archer curling in the free kick. And Tilson bringing it under control to find Browning. And Beadle going in there. But it was Tinian who got there first.
That's what Rovers have got to do, more of this. Get the ball in the box, get it in the danger area, and this is a deep cross to the far post. And Tinian had to defend well.
Cureton. Blocked by Hours.
I'd like a pound for every time we've said, you know, the first defender, and then crosses. They never seem to get it above the first defender. Frustrating.
Rovers now really have got to lay siege to the City goal. Harris. Headed away by Taylor. And the clearance by Tinian. Hours looking to set Goater away. And it was a rare adventure forward, but Tinian here.
Well, he could have made a name for himself there, couldn't he, Tinian? Suddenly, he could have been the villain early on in the second half, but he could have been the hero here. I think that David Beckham again, and Tinian, well off target.
Bounced on by Holloway to Beadle. Harris. shown some nice touches, Harris, but sometimes his distribution has let him down.
Well, they did a little run on there as well, but the final ball again, way off target.
Clark has given it away to Brian Tinian. Here's Pritchard. Helped on by Holloway. Aaron Barnard, the City player who went in the book earlier in the game.
Good play from City. At least they're pegging Bristol Rovers back now. They don't mind. Joe won't mind the ball going up that end of the field. I think Rovers have just got it. Someone's got to produce a little bit of magic for them.
13 minutes left for Joe Jordan's side to hang on to what they've achieved already. Here's Clark. Archer giving chase for it. And don't forget, more football coming up for you immediately after this game, because in the FA Carling Premiership it's Sunderland against Chelsea on Sky Sports 1. Super Sunday coming up at 3 o'clock immediately after this match. And Rovers are lucky there. Puritan probably grateful in the end that the referee had already blown for an earlier challenge.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Barnard was pushed. The big fella there, Beadle, doesn't agree with it, but look, that's surely a push. The referee was spot on, and Puritan, well, I heard the ref's whistle, he said.
And would you believe him?
Oh, I don't think so, not at all. He's trying to burst the back of the net.
Click on by Nugent, and Goto was almost through there. It might still be in. It's Blackmore driving it in, and Nugent off the bar. Second time they've hit the bar in the second half.
Well, I thought that was sweet football there, and he just climbed at the last minute. But good play there, good one, great ball into the box. That's a lovely layoff, and I thought the big fella was going to score. Tries to place it, very unlucky. Just clips the top of the crossbar. Oh.
Well, even though City have been under pressure for a lot of this second half, even before they were reduced to 10 men, they've still gone closest to enhancing the scoreline. Hewlett's hit the bar, Nugent's hit the bar too. And they're starting to demonstrate their attacking efficiency again, although that one from Hours goes astray.
I think he was asking a lot of Kevin Nugent there. He was probably still thinking about that one. It clipped the crossbar. But that was a great move from Bristol City. And Rovers need the ball up the other end. Time running out for them. It's a good battling performance from Rovers, but they need a bit of magic.
Harris trying to line it up for Beadle. And Carey holding firm. Here's Billy Clark. Everybody except Collett inside the City half now. Martin. City pegged back, desperate defending at times, but good defending too from Blackmore and Nugent.
Yeah, it's desperate stuff now from City. Anywhere will do.
They know their best attacking hope is to spring it forward quickly to Gota and to get him to test Tilson and Clark.
Yeah, well done again, Tilson. Good play.
Tilson may not have covered himself in glory for the goal as Agostino left him and Clark behind, but in this second half he's ensured that the deficit has stayed at 1-0.
I think where Rovers are maybe going a little bit wrong here, Rob, is I think Harris was the danger man. But he's absolutely getting starved of the ball now, and that's why he's coming so deep looking for it. Very frustrated.
There's been a winner in each of the last 9 league meetings between these two teams. It's September 1989 since there was a draw in the league between them. That was a goalless one here at Ashton Gate. But Rovers doing their level best to ensure that they at least achieve parity here.
I tell you what, I think this big fella's played his part today. He's not missed one in the air and coming over quickly there to thwart Puritan.
Showing commitment to the cause. Holloway. Clearance by Carey. Taylor, stout defending again. Here's Tilson. Tilson again. And now Harris. Still they can't work a way through. City deploying all their resources except Gota in a defensive capacity.
The Rovers are still a good 8 minutes, plus a little bit of stoppage. And they've somehow got to get a bit of quality into the box.
Here's Brownie. Challenge from Gota. Holloway. Rovers digging deep to try and find this equalizer. Tilson tries his luck! Oh, and Harris just got the right sort of diversion onto that. Then that could have been the equalizer they've been seeking.
It's funny there because the bench there were saying play it wide, but when Tilson decides I'm hitting this, it misses Taylor. Look at this, and Harris, ooh, just a whisker away. Good strike from the big centre half.
Well, it's Rovers' last throw of the dice. And they're taking off Billy Clark and bringing on Justin Skinner to take his place. And Skinner has 7 minutes left in which to make himself the hero. Joe Jordan, is his birthday going to be complete with just the one goal? This is the goal that's brought the celebrations so far. But is the game going to turn on the Rob Edwards sending off? No quibble about either booking. The second yellow card is the inevitable red.
Yeah, Big Joe would love to open a bottle of bubbly tonight, celebrate his birthday, if only his side can hang on. Last 6 minutes.
Here's Lee Martin. Harris. Flying header clear by Darren Barnard. Playing more like a central defender now, with Brian Tinian slotting into his old position on the left. Taylor up again to beat Holloway. Taylor really has been such a solid influence in that Bristol City rearguard. Lee Martin curled in towards Beadle. He got there with a header.
I say you've got to be very careful because Beadle started to play on Barnard there in the hope of a nice ball into the box, and this time easily out jumping Barnard but couldn't get enough power on it.
Well, there's been some big games between these two old rivals in the past. That's a free kick. Beadle punished for the challenge on Hewlett.
So the more I'm seeing of this boy Hewlett, the more I'm liking him. Elegant player. I tell you what, Beadle, how's he escaped a yellow? He's had a few of them today, hasn't he?
Yes, he's been on a few last verbal warnings.
Watch out, Beadle's about. He certainly put himself about today.
Well, at least you waited until 5 minutes before the end to get that one in. Header on by Tinian, and it helped on by Gota, and Martin to be very careful there against Nugent. Ours has gone into the box, and it couldn't find a way through Gota.
Very unlucky. Good football again from City. And that's what they want to be playing at, up in the Bristol Rovers half. But that was a great run, and very unlucky. All of a sudden, a nice little move like this. Here's the return pass. Beautiful. Just caught out. And immediately you get a reaction from the home supporters. They sense victory now.
Pritchard, and this is Taylor. Well, after that little respite, the pressure is now back on Bristol City. Holloway.
Anywhere will do.
I think they'll get to the end of the 90 minutes and really be kicking themselves if they haven't exploited the fact that City have been down to 10 men for so much of this second half. Skinner, long hopeful one from him.
The final ball's just not been good enough, Rob. That's why they can't unlock this Bristol City defence.
They're looking for that one moment of inspiration. Martin attempting to pick out Beadle. It's too long for him, and Tinian can afford to let it go. And a few more seconds will run down now as City look to coast their way towards another 3 points. And another healthy crowd here at Ashton Gate for this local derby. Just over 18,500 crammed in here, and it's the majority at the moment who will be in celebratory mood at the end.
Yeah, great noise here at Ashton Gate. I feel a little bit sorry for the Rovers fans. Very patient, praying for a final goal in the final minutes.
Well, City won't be playing here again until Boxing Day when they take on Shrewsbury. But if they'll have beaten the old rivals, they'll have earned quite a few brownie points. Tinian attempting to play it in towards Gota, and Collett made the decision to come for it, and Gota had made his decision that he wasn't going to give up on it.
Oh, that's American football in the end zone there. I thought Tinian gave him so much to do, but the big fella nearly made it. But look at this.
Really tried to make the most of that, the Bermudan, Sean Gota, who was a junior at Manchester United in the days when Clayton Blackmore and Lee Martin were also at Old Trafford.
It's against the Dallas Cowboys with challenges like that.
Here's Tilson. This is Skinner. There's still a minute to go, but the City fans are imploring the referee to blow the final whistle. And no wonder with Rovers on the attack. This is Harris, a real danger man. Lee Martin to Lee Archer. They're still probing away, but the City defence is still holding firm.
Good defending from City. Is this the last chance?
They're massing everybody back inside their own penalty area. Beadle is up for the header! Oh, it's off the crossbar!
Oh, dear. He is so unlucky here. It's looping all the way to the goal. And Beadle, very unlucky. Still, the danger's not gone.
That was an agonising moment. And as Ours gets it clear, Bristol City can afford to draw breath and just reflect there on how close they came to giving away an equaliser.
Right in front of the Rovers fans as well. Agonising.
This match is not over yet. This is Holloway. Tilson. Rovers trying to be calm when their fans want them to lump it forward at every opportunity, but who's there? Sean Taylor sticking his head in where angels fear to tread.
Well, this fella here, he thought he just pulled it out of the fire. Look at this, out jumping the defence, off the crossbar, goalkeeper beaten. So unlucky. Look at the Rovers fans behind the goal. Oh!
But Sean Taylor has done as much as most to keep a clean sheet, and it's no surprise that he is the Nationwide League man of the match.
Yeah, superb game he's had, tough and resilient. A good bye for Joe Jordan.
Had he not bought him, it could have been goodbye to Joe Jordan. Things were looking a little awkward for him just before Sean Taylor was brought in. But since Taylor's arrival, the defence has had an altogether more solid look about it. But there's still a possibility of an equaliser on here. It's Curitan with Beadle free, and Beadle scored! Would you believe it? Injury time, and Rovers have forced their way back into the game. The east end of this ground erupts as the Rovers fans see Beadle get the equaliser. What late drama there is! Now you know Beadle's about.
Well, what can you say? Last gasp winner, last gasp equaliser. Great ball from Archer. I was just saying myself, you know, get it in, get it in the box, and he does it beautifully. And there's Beadle knocking it in. And to be honest, Rovers deserved this on the second half performance. Great ball, get in there, the big fella's delighted. Oh, I can't help thinking Big Joe's birthday bash is spoiled.
What an incredible story. Peter Beadle, who's been flying in goal-scoring terms lately, scored a hat-trick in the last win, the 4-3 victory over Bury, but now he's got his 8th goal of this season.
Well, it's been a smashing match. And Rovers, well, what can you say? Getting the equaliser. Really enjoyed it. Great derby.
Well, the air of tension was unmistakable amongst both sets of supporters in the build-up to the game. City thought perhaps that they were coasting to the victory, but that goal from Peter Beadle unleashed celebrations that saw the supporters spill onto the pitch, and the stewards and police have acted very quickly to make sure that the playing area is cleared so that the match can be concluded in the proper fashion.
Yeah, what a shame, but this is good play from Archer. He picks Beadle out superbly well. Just a shame with the nonsense at the end. But thank goodness we're getting this. We're getting all sorted now. And I wouldn't mind now if the ref just blew his whistle, because I've enjoyed it. What a shame now. I can honestly say there's a little bit of a pitch invasion, but there's been no real trouble. A little bit of high spirits. It's a great shame because it spoiled a marvellous derby. And I think, to be honest, 1-1 is probably a fair result, Rob, should it stay this way.
Well, Ian Holloway must have thought that his team were heading for defeat in his first league derby as manager, but Peter Beadle has come to his rescue. Just moments after hitting the crossbar with a header, there he was to apply the finishing touch and ruin Joe Jordan's birthday celebration.
Yeah, Big Joe, he must be bitterly disappointed now because it was all going so well. Sure, his team were hanging on, playing with 10 men. Beadle hitting the crossbar. Joe thought he'd get away with it. And then that last gasp equaliser.
Well, a cluster of fans did come on looking for trouble, but the police and stewarding here is very efficient, and they've made sure that everyone is back where they're supposed to be now. And let's just hope that we can have a safe conclusion to the match. There can't, in honesty, be that much of it left, but they want to make sure that at the end there's no repeat of that.
I'm pretty certain as soon as they kick off here, I'm sure referee will blow his final whistle, because it's nonsense. I hate seeing all this. Absolute nonsense. Police horses maybe overdoing it a wee bit. Get the horses off, get the game started, blow the whistle. 1 point each.
The horses' hind legs are actually on the field, so I'm sure we can't really have that much more play.
What a shame. No, smashing derby. I think it was played on the park. There was no really nasty stuff on the pitch. And now I'm sure as soon as we get these horses off, get the game started, blow the whistle, and let's all go home. Well, Beadle, he did, he threatened, and City, I thought they were going to get away with it. But a smashing little ball from Archer. And Beadle, you got to give him his due, lurking at the back stick to plant the equaliser home.
Well, Ian Holloway may reflect on a little bit of good fortune. City hit Rovers' crossbar twice in this second half.
That's it, get the horses off. Referee, I'm pretty certain there's not going to be much longer now.
Well, we were already almost a minute into injury time when Beadle got that crucial touch that's drawn Bristol Rovers level. And
I have to say they deserved it, Rob. Do you agree?
Yes, they've battled hard, determinedly in this second half, and Beadle, a player who was released by Tottenham without making a senior appearance for them, has really proved his worth for Rovers with that vital goal. Well, we have kicked off. The referee has taken a check on the watch, and we must be close to the conclusion, but I wonder if there's more drama to come. Is there yet to be a winner in this for either side? Here's Skinner. Tilson. Anywhere will do now for Bristol Rovers. They'll be quite happy with a point. Thank you very much.
Surely we'll not get another goal here. I can't ever think Rob Edwards would be feeling very sorry for himself. He's given his team a lot to do. And I thought they were just going to survive.
It's Blackmore with the throw-in for Bristol City. Holloway. Good work from Holloway. And a foul on Holloway has brought Rovers the award of the free kick.
I think he celebrated more with that equaliser than any other Bristol Rovers player. He's taken an abundance of stick here. Beadle was delighted, of course, but Holloway was going berserk. It means a lot to him, this game.
Well, he knew it was a big game. The previous biggest game before this was the FA Cup tie with Exeter, which Rovers lost, and he didn't want to lose his second big game under his charge. There's Holloway again involved. Held back by Curitan this time to Browning.
Well, the referee keeps looking at his watch, but still he plays on.
Seven minutes of injury time. That's through the hold-up, through the spillage onto the pitch, and the time it took to clear the fans away.
Big Joe just shouting to his keeper Naylor there. Hey, calm down, take your time. Don't forget, we've got 10 men.
Another check at the watch from the referee. Helped on by Barnard. And this time it is it. So the first league draw between the old rivals in 10 meetings, and Peter Beadle, with an injury time equaliser, produced an unlikely comeback. Joe Jordan's birthday ruined by his opposite number Ian Holloway, who celebrates a draw in his first league derby in charge. Joe Jordan, who's 45 today, thought his team might have won it with a first half goal from Paul Agostino, but Rob Edwards standing off changed the course of the game, and it finishes Bristol City 1, Bristol Rovers 1.
Sports 3, the final score, Bristol City 1, Bristol Rovers 1. Pretty interesting game with one or two notable incidents. One apiece, just confirmation of the score for you there. Only 7 corners. We had 5 bookings, 1 sending off. Rob Edwards for Bristol City, a lot of fouls. It was a local derby. First half action areas for you. Bristol City having the edge. Paul Agostino scoring the goal for them. It was 1-0 at half-time. And the attendance, 18,674. And as you can probably see behind our action area graphics there has been some more trouble following the final whistle. We can find out now exactly what's happened with George Gavin.
Yes, Russ, disgraceful scenes at the end of the match, really stuff you don't want to see again happening at football grounds. As the teams were coming off, especially the Bristol Rovers team, they were filtering off down towards the tunnel when the crowd spilled off the terraces, off the seats, and chased the Bristol Rovers team. You can see it there down the tunnel. 1 or 2 at least of the Bristol Rovers team were kicked as they came up that tunnel. And Ian Holloway, the player-manager for Bristol Rovers, sought out Joe Jordan to say, for God's sake, Joe, sort this out, it's terrible. Now, 2 players, we understand, are still not in the dressing room yet from Bristol Rovers, so we're trying to find 2 of the players who haven't come in yet. Perhaps they're still out on the field. In fact, there they are now. Now, they went towards the old tunnel, we understand, which is by the dugouts, to escape the crowd. Now, guarded by stewards, they're making their way to the dressing room area. Disgraceful scenes, not the kind of stuff you want to see on a football ground ever again, really. And as I say, Ian Holloway was seeking out Joe Jordan to say, for God's sake, Joe, sort this out. And as I was ready to come to talk to you, Russ, 2 of the hooligans were ejected past me, bundled out, right past me, and out the door, arrested. But as I say, scenes you don't want to see, and you don't really want to talk about ever again.
OK, thanks, George. Terrible scenes there at the Bristol Derby today. Russell,
yeah,
what can you say?
Well, what can you say? You know, we've seen it there. It's such a shame because Bristol City as a club are trying to do everything right. They're trying to promote the club. Both clubs are trying to promote football in the West Country. It's been a great game. You know, there's nothing adverse gone on the pitch today. Players have got stuck in like they would in a local derby, but nothing really that needed to incite the crowd like that. You know, the crowd's just been out of order.
John, chasing the opposing players off the pitch, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything so disgraceful for a long while at an English football ground.
No, I haven't. I think it is a disgrace, as you quite rightly say. But unfortunately, the same thing happened a little bit last season. We went there, we won 2-0, scored 2 goals in the last 10, 12 minutes, and unfortunately from the same corner of the ground, the same sort of situation happened, although they didn't come on after the game, as they've just done today. But like I say, it's totally unacceptable, and I'm sure they'll be very upset at Bristol City about that.
Yeah. We've had some wonderful derby matches over recent weeks on Sky Sports, and it's just such a shame that a great occasion for West Country football has been, you know, tainted by the ridiculous behaviour of a few morons. Well, quite a few of them, actually, not just a few.
But feelings do run very deep, you know, in that city, you know, and it's a very volatile situation there, you know, and you have to live within it to appreciate it. Both John and myself, you know, we lived in the city there, and there's always conflict there, you know, and it's a shame, and we don't need it, and it's an awful way to end the day, really.
There's no reason for that kind of behaviour,
no,
Russell, is there at all?
None whatsoever.
Whatever.
OK, let's get more reaction now from Ashton Gate. Joe Jordan, Bristol City's manager on his birthday, is with George Gavin.
Joe, sadly, more about what happened after the game than what happened during it, but disgraceful scenes at Ashton Gate.
Well, towards the end of the game as well, I think that's overtaken at all events, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know what you can say. There's nothing you can... there's no argument you can up. I mean, we've got an opportunity here after quite a number of years to put on a display. The match was a typical derby game, but unfortunately the events have been overtaken by what happened towards the end of the game and after it. It's disgraceful.
There's a helicopter overhead now, I understand, sorting out 1 or 2 problems maybe outside the ground, which is outside your jurisdiction really, isn't it? But what can you do?
I don't know whose control it can come under. I mean, each individual who's been involved in that today has really got to have a look at themselves. As I say, we have an opportunity here in Bristol in the West Country to put on a display, and I'm afraid a lot of people have let us down today.
I saw Ian Holloway come up to you and ask you to do something, but there's not much you can do personally, is there?
I don't think there's much anyone can do, whether it's Ian Holloway's in charge or I'm in charge of my team. I think individuals, as I say, they've got to really look at what they have done today. If they've taken part in this disgraceful scene out here, it's something that they'll regret for a long, long time.
Do you expect an FA investigation, Joe?
Well, I don't know. At this moment in time, it's difficult to actually comprehend.